All right, guys, we are live. And if you're watching the recording, obviously we're not live at all, but you're getting to see this presentation at a later time. The secret to getting $10,000 clients. The reason I want to host this training is that I'm intrigued by this. And I'm actually part of a big program that I pay $1,500 a month to be part of. I'm not scared to say that at all. And I've been part of $15,000 programs, 25K programs, things along those lines. And what I've noticed is that it's kind of the rage right now. You see a lot of these things being offered on Facebook. In fact, just type in yes if you've been on Facebook and seen an ad for attracting high-end clients, for doing high-level coaching, things along this lines. Okay, bunch of yeses are coming in. So I saw these over and over and over again, and I was thinking, this is really fascinating that this is like a mainstream topic right now. And what's that really take? Because often these things are sold as if it's another magic formula. It's the next thing that is going to create this massive breakthrough for people. And it can. But most of those programs are set up to sell people into a $10,000 program, right? That's really the secret behind those things, is that they're basically going to say, why don't you come and join my program and do this thing, and then you can charge 10 grand too, which is, not a bad model whatsoever. But I was looking into that, and I started looking around to see, what really took to create that type of program. And I've got a couple of high levels that I do within my own particular niches as well. And I just wanted to see if there was agreement and if there was alignment. And so this presentation tonight is not going to be any sort of, hey, this is going to blow your mind because it's so unique. I think it's just going to make sense. For those of us who have been wanting to do a high level program and you've wondered, do I really have what it takes? Can I really charge that much? I think there'll be some great answers for you in that. You'll get to see how it really separates you from the crowd and things along those lines. So I think that'll be pretty interesting. One question I'd like to start right out at the beginning. I'm super glad that you're here, but what drew you? What are you the most interested in knowing more about tonight? Or why were you even drawn to this? Type this in real quick. What was kind of the hook for you? Was it the 10? You can say it was the money if that's what it was, or if you just thought this sounds unbelievable, I thought I'd just come and check it out and see what it was. Just type that in real quick. Okay, it's the money. Just checking it out, seeing if I'm able to actually charge 10K. Wondering if this is real or just a setup for a high ticket sale. I can go ahead and tell you that's not going to happen. But I will try to sell you something, Ian, but it's not even mine. It's going to be a product that I found that I'm going to recommend to you. You being a nicheology fan for a long time, good stuff. All right, guys, so let's just dive into it. I appreciate you sharing that. So 10K packages. So when you run a high-end package program or coaching, you really are in a different stratosphere. It's a different level. It's a different cadence. It's a different rhythm because these type of clients don't question pricing as much. They are laser focused and they are highly successful. And here's the reason why, that most of these folks really, if they're high level clients, they've got the money. They just want a specific outcome, and there's not as much argument based in it. I can tell you from experience, and you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but I've found that it's easier to sell somebody something $5,000 or $10,000 than sometimes to sell a $27 product. And the reason is that those at those higher levels usually have the cash to do it and believe it's going to lead to a certain outcome. Those that are paying the smaller amounts often barely have that amount, and they're not sure it's actually going to make a difference or not as far as the product or solution goes. And so I see that over and over and over again. Now, it's often said and stated like, well, the truth is that if it's that much easier to sell at the high level, then why don't you just do the high level? Because there's not a ton of people there. It's not like it's flooded. It's not like that higher stratosphere level you could get, the same 2,000 people in that program as you could get in a 29.95 a month program, right? It's different. The numbers are different. It is a different caliber person. It's a different income level person. It's a different outcome driven person. But you have to get in your mind, what I've got to understand is what I'm providing is going to produce this certain solution rather than I'm trying to sell people into this thing, this hope. It's not based in hope at all. It's simply based in results. And so that's the real key to the 10 grand package and above. So when you do low price stuff, you often attract clients who don't really understand what coaching is all about, constantly make excuses as to why they didn't do what you told them to do. A lot of them want everything done for them, and this is what's in their mind. Now you give them assignment, but they want it done for them, and so they feel like that they want to judge you because it didn't get done when it was really on them to get it finished, right? They wear you down complaining about your prices and might even remind you about it. Well, you know what? I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth. And you know what? I want to make sure that I'm getting every single call in because I paid you $100. It's so bizarre, but the $5,000 and $10,000 client rarely, if ever, reminds you about prices. So it's kind of interesting. Those who pay you on a lower level tend to miss appointments. Higher level people tend not to miss appointments. Lower level people tend to ask for refunds. Higher level people really don't. And when I'm saying high and low, I'm talking about payment. I'm not talking about character or integrity. Complain about you on social media or blogs. This is so true. Higher level folks, higher payers will contact you personally, whereas those who are paying you a lower amount will like to go and talk about you. Higher payers talk to you, lower payers tend to talk about you, make you feel like you're wasting your time and their money. But here's the real truth is that often you feel like you are wasting your time because you realize how valuable your time actually is, right? Now, I'm not saying that to say that we should never have lower priced offerings. I think that we should. I think that we should probably run the gamut. But tonight we're really talking about that 10K level and the impact that it really has and how we can get there if that's something we want to do. First is to know that clients assess. This is the real secret here, is that they are thinking about the actual change that's going to take place in their life. Those who are just looking for a program or looking for an answer or hoping that what you're offering is the thing they need, they're not really doing an assessment. They're not assessing things. What they are doing is that they're trying to find that loophole or that shortcut or that magic pill. That's why you see online so much hope and hype being sold. It's usually to convince folks who are wanting a loophole or a shortcut that that solution is the answer for that it's going to produce the miracle. Those who are paying at the upper levels often are not expecting a miracle at all. They know that they've got to work hard because that's how they got to the level that they are right now. You know, they don't look at them getting where they are by accident. They don't think that they just happened to get there. Nope. Instead, they know that it took time, it took energy, it took effort. And that is the big, big key for them. And so they're coming in and they're assessing whether or not we're right for them. And we're assessing if they are right for us. See, that's a totally different shift. Usually on the low price area, everybody's trying to convince everybody, I'm right for you, you're right for me, right? I want to prove that. At the upper level, it's more about assessment than it is about proving through sales copy or, just give me a chance and you get 30 days and then we'll refund you if it's not a fit. Those types of conversations don't really take place at the higher level. So clients assess. So we're going to run through these 6 elements, 6 things that higher level clients look for. Number 1 is results. What's the result that's going to happen? When you're dealing with lower price points, often the result is a possibility. At the higher level, the result is a promise. Lower level, it's a possibility. High level, it's a promise. And that's what the high level client is looking for. What's the result here? What's the thing that you can promise me? What's going to happen here? So let me give you 2 examples. Okay, so I sell a product called Your Signature Product. which you can buy for $500, and you can go through it yourself. What I'm providing is the possibility of you getting that product created, right? If you follow all the steps, you'll get the product created. Now, at the higher level, because there's more involvement and there's more hand holding, if we can use that terminology, and there's more connection, the result can actually be promised. So let's say that I was talking to someone who wanted to create $1,000 product, and I said, we can work together to create your $1,000 product, and I've got a $10,000 program to do that. And by the end of our 6 months together, you will absolutely have a product online for sale for $1,000. That's a promise, right? That's totally different than a possibility. Lower level offers are usually possibilities. Higher level offers are actually a promise. Now we can say, well, Paul, you can't actually make that promise because, the truth is you can't know if they're going to do the work or not. Usually people who pay the 10 grand, they do the work because they're working with you on it. And it makes a big, big difference. Secondly, they're looking for frameworks. They're looking for a proven system. So let's use that same example again with your signature product. I'm able to say, here are the 4 elements of creating a signature product. This is my framework. When I'm teaching folks inside of $1 Million Keynote, I'll talk about message and marketing and monetization. And I've got 9 boxes that are all connected that show that precise framework. Now, someone that is coming on board for like $20 or even $100, they see that and they go, wow, that looks like a lot of work. People of a higher level see that framework and go, good, this person knows what they're talking about, right? So they're able to see that you know what you're doing because you have a process in place. And it's weird. It's all has to do with the angle. In fact, let's look at it this way. It's just hit me. So let's say that here's your offer. So this is your offer. It's a little bit dark, isn't it? Let's see. So the person, low price, looking in this way for the possibility, sees this as work. Wow, Paul's got all this framework over here and all these things that I'm going to have to do. At the high end, they're looking at the opposite side. They're seeing it as a promise, and they're not seeing work. They're seeing IP, intellectual property. They're seeing a product. Most importantly, they're seeing an outcome. These folks look at it and say, wow, that's a lot of work. That's a lot to be done. This person says, I'm not afraid of hard work. I love to work. Let's get that outcome. And so they love that. It makes a big, big difference. And they're able to view things completely differently. And so that's what a framework does for them. Okay, so real quick, let me just get a quick yes. You did see me draw on the screen, and now you are seeing 6 things, high-level clients. Okay, good. I want to make sure that I made that switch back. Sometimes it doesn't come all the way back. Good, thanks, guys. All right, so frameworks. Number 3 is pure relationship. So this is a little bit different too. From the low side, people see you as the guru, which is good. It's not bad to be seen in that light. From the high side, they see you as a peer. You are a business owner. You are a co-worker. You are a co-developer. You're not a vendor. They're not just hiring you for something. You're in this work together. So there's a peer relationship here, and that's a totally different switch. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to become best friends. Doesn't mean you're going out to eat together. It just means that you're connected on a higher plane, that they see you in this working relationship together to produce this outcome. And they're looking for that rather than someone who's just trying to, pull the wool over their eyes or just make a sale. They're seeing it at a deeper level. Number 4 is empowered and equipped. The higher level folks want to feel like that they learned a skill, or they acquired direction, or they gained clarity, or they've got something new at the end and feel empowered by it. They're not going to feel, now in the short term, they may feel overwhelmed. They may feel like, wow, this is a lot to learn, but they're excited about the challenge. And at the end of your time together, they feel empowered and equipped. They feel like, okay, if I wanted to create this product again, I can go and do that. Or if I want to do this message again, I can go and do that. I can go through this process again. And in fact, I've got Jerry that's on here that's been to one of my $1,000,000 keynote trainings. Jerry, after that training, didn't you feel more empowered and equipped afterwards about creating your presentation and your speeches than you did before you came? Of course, you guys won't see Jerry's answer. I could say anything. Yeah, Jerry said absolutely. Okay, so empowered and equipped, that's a totally different position, right? And that's what the high level client is looking for, is that they know that by the end of your time together that they will have gained information, they've gained through the implementation of that, and now they've acquired the transformation and they're stronger because of it. Number 5 is your personal success. This is one of the biggest reasons a lot of people don't offer those really high level elements, because they're not so sure about their personal success, right? Because the high level client wants to know that we've done it. So if I'm going to train speakers, they want to know that I can speak, or that I've done it for a while, or that I can put speeches together. If someone wants to create a product, they want to know that I've created products and that they've sold well, right? So that personal success is something else the high level client is looking for. The low level client is often not concerned too much about your personal success. They just want to know if it'll work for them. If it'll work for me, it's okay. Why does the high level client want your personal success? Because they know, number 1, all the way at the top, that results are what matter. Your personal success proves that what you're doing actually works. And number 6 is leadership. They actually want to be led. They don't simply want to follow, they want to be led. Lower level programs, it's often people who simply want to follow. Just tell me what to do, tell me what to do, tell me what to do, tell me what to do. The higher level person's like, yeah, let's do this together. You take the lead. I'm right here with you. You know, it's more of a hand in hand, but I'm going to follow your lead. I respect you. I like what you're doing. I like how you're doing it. Let's go and get this done. So that leadership element is a little bit different. So those are the 6 things that high level clients tend to look for. Now notice it's not really about your ability to write persuasive copy. It's not about your program having to make sure that it hits every single feature and benefit. It's more about these elements that are critical in the eyes of the buyer. So at this higher level, it's totally shifted. It's more about results, frameworks, peer relationship, empower and equip, your personal success, and leadership. Do you guys have any questions about any of those before moving on? Just type those in real quick if you need any more clarity on any of those, or if you got a follow-up question about any of those. I'll give it just a minute to type any of that in if you got anything. Don't see anything yet. I'll keep watching and come back just in case there's any questions on that. And hopefully that makes sense. I mean, the difference between the lower level elements and the higher level elements, that these 6, make a difference. Oh, all right. So I just want to thank you for this excellent and clear explanation of low versus high level clients. Good. I hope that does make sense. And this is totally my experience in programs that I've been part of and programs that I've created. And I love all levels of clients, believe me, but we're focusing on the upper level tonight. So step 2, so how about those $10,000 offers? I put a K at the end of 10,000. So that's like a double max there. That's even more money. So the more you charge, the more you have to deliver, right? This is the kind of thing that's not necessarily true. Because what was number 1 on that last list that I just showed you? I'm not going back to it. I want you to type it in. What was the number 1 thing that high-level clients look for? Type it in. All right, got several folks typing results, 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 results. That's right. That's number 1. Here's a major shift between low-level clients, high-level clients. High-level clients don't count hours. They don't count number of calls. They don't count number of emails. They count results. A few years ago, when I was employed or employable, I guess, I always got in trouble with management because I had a certain skill set that I felt very confident in and could perform extremely well and perform quickly. And so let's say that there was a task. If I performed this task, I could get it done in 2 hours. If a coworker of mine performed this task, he would get it done in 8 hours. So I would get it done in 2 hours and be finished. And I might go home. Well, management didn't like that because they were like, you didn't put in a full day. And I said, but it wasn't about the full day. It was about the task, which I accomplished. And they said, well, so-and-so does the same task and it takes him 8 hours. I said, I do not want to offend you guys at all. But the truth is, he does that in 8 hours and still doesn't do as good a job. And so you're telling me that you're going to reward him for a less good job, a lesser quality, but reward him because of time in. Whereas you want to get on to me and dock my pay because I didn't work as many hours, but the end result was actually better, right? So we kind of went rounds on that over and over again. So then I started working with a different level of clientele, and they didn't care if it took me an hour or 20 hours or 40 hours or 10 minutes if the result was there. So the more you charge, it's not that you have to deliver more, you just have to deliver the promise. And it doesn't matter if that promise takes an hour or if it takes 6 months. The real key is that you're able to see clearly exactly what you are producing and how you're going to get people to that end result. So there's several different models. We're going to look at a real example, and then I'm going to give you some thoughts behind that and some things that you might want to do to create your own program. So a lot of different models that you could choose. The real key is to find the ones that appeal to your client, obviously, and are energizing and reputation boosting for you. So that is really a critical line. Does it energize you and does it boost your reputation? Here's what you don't want to do is to create a program that you hate delivering. You don't want to create anything that you regret ever offering. And you don't want to get in over your head either. So you don't need to go and think, well, it's a 10K program, and so I've got to make sure that I've got this abundance of stuff and this abundance of a phone call every 2 days or whatever. We don't have to do that. The key is, if this is the result that's promised, how do I get people there? And most people would rather get there faster than later. So here's an example. This is from Jenny's Business Adventure School. Here's what she offers: an exclusive private Facebook group, 3 live 2-day mastermind retreats in a gorgeous location, 12 training classes with transcripts, step-by-step action guides, 12 live group coach access calls, 2 60-minute private coaching calls, access to resources, tips, tech tips and downloads, and her personal swipe file. Okay, so that's a great overview. Jenny loves delivering this. It's right in her wheelhouse. Well, a lot of people could do this. So I'm going to use Jerry as an example. He works with guys especially, but he can work with anybody, who really helps them discover what their superpower is, brings clarity to their life. So let's say that Jerry decides, you know what, I'm going to create my superhero academy, I'll call it that. And he says, I'm going to have a private Facebook group. Cool. 3 days, 3 live 2-day mastermind retreats at the Fortress of Solitude, 12 training classes with transcripts. So this is superhero training. Step-by-step action guides, 12 live coaching access calls. So this is kind of like, the secret phone type deal. And then like the red secret phone would be 2 secret-minute private coaching calls, access to resources, and probably instead of tech tips and downloads, these guys would need special assessments and things along those lines. That is a great overview, but the real key is, what is that end promise? And this is how he would deliver the end promise. So what Jenny's helping people do is to create business adventures. And what's going to happen is that she teaches them how to get that result through this delivery method. So you have your result and then how you're going to deliver it. Or you have your promise and you have your process. So write that down. You've got your promise and you've got your process. What most people do is sit down and do this first, is they kind of list all the stuff that they'd like to provide, but instead always begin with your promise. Whatever the end result is, whatever that major outcome is, start there. Say, this is my promise, and now here's my process. And some of the things that are on this page will be in direct alignment with what you need to do, and some other things you may not need to do at all. We're going to whittle them down in just a minute. Now, she's able to save time because there's a deadline, right? It lasts for a year. She can plan the whole year in advance. She can custom tailor the program to her committed clients. And she collects her entire year's income up front. So she's paid up front, and then she delivers over the course of a year. Pretty simple, right? Makes that format work out extremely well. So it's not this overwhelming delivery system. It's not an overwhelming setup for the platform. It's something very easy for her to deliver because it's right in her wheelhouse. So that's a big secret of doing a 10K program, is to say, here's the 10K promise and be closer to a 100K promise. Here's the ultimate outcome. Here's the ultimate promise. And here's how we're going to get here. Here's the process. And the process is going to be delivered through X, Y, and Z. So she's got a year-long program. Let's say that you had a program that showed people how to write a book. And these were folks who had been wanting to write a book for the past 5 years. And you say, we're going to have your complete book finished in 3 months, and it's a $5,000 package. There'd be a lot of people who would do that because they've been failing for so long, and now they hear the promise. And then what's your process? And you say, we're going to get together every week, every Sunday night. We're going to get together. We're going to have a challenge for the week. There's going to be a certain word commitment for the week. And you've got this overriding process that people go, yep, the process will get me to the promise. You have your promise, you have your process. Your process proves to them that the promise is actually attainable. And that's how you create that program. So you build your own schedule and a mix of offerings to suit your clients and yourself. Don't leave yourself out of it. Don't go, what do my clients want? Say, this is how I bring the best of me to the table. Your clients are hiring you. So you want to bring the best of you to the table, your best delivery method, your best style. So you can offer high-end packages of programs as an upsell. You can repackage your current programs and packages all together. You could specialize in just one mega package a year if you wanted to, like Jenny does. Or you could schedule regular palette of high-end special offers. I could decide to open up a group of signature product developers 4 times a year. Do it once a quarter and keep that going on and on and on, right? It would still be a high-level program, but the promise would be shrunk from a year process to 3-month process. At the end of 3 months, you will have your $1,000 product for sale online. Wow, specific promise. Here's the process to get there. So here's an overall simple solution that I'm going to draw for you. Had to put a blank screen in to remind me to draw. And here are 3 core elements that if you'll focus on, it will make your outlining of your program a lot easier. Here are the 3 key elements that if you're doing a high-level program that is group-based, and I usually feel like the group is the better option than one-to-one. First of all, one-to-one will wear you out, and you can only work with a limited number of people, whereas with a group coaching element, you can work with as many people as you want, right? So there's basically 3 elements here that we have to look at. So number 1 is content. I mentioned early on that they want that framework, right? They want that content. They want to be able to see that they're going to learn something that is going to be applied in a way to bring that outcome. So I mentioned with $1 Million Keynote, I've got content that produces an outcome based on the framework that I've created. Now with Simple 6, another product that I have, It shows a complete framework of setting up recurring revenue model. With your signature product, it trains people on how to create the product. So I've got all these products that are out there that are based in this content. Well, with the high level, you're still going to do a content-based platform and training as well, but it's a little bit different because with this, if it's just content, then it's a product and that's it. So they're also looking for that coaching, right? See if I can spell that. So they want the coaching. They want to be able to get answers. They want that specific direction. With content alone, a person has to go and interpret all for themselves. Coaching is not just about pointing direction, but it's about pointing a specific direction so that people know that the content was interpreted specifically for them. So that the advice that I would give someone like Patty or Barney that's on the call tonight is going to be totally different that I might give for Jerry, right? Because the coach, what they're able to do is to look into our lives, recognize our strengths, recognize our weaknesses, spot our gaps, and then fill it in with that knowledge, with the interpretation of the content. Say, here's what you need to do, here's the training, but then here's how it's applied differently for you. And here's what you need to go do based on your strengths, your weaknesses, your gaps. Here's the next step. So the coaching is the other option that people really want. And then something else is that community. You know, back in the day, everybody would have a forum, and today it's really a private Facebook group, which I love. I think that they work out really well, and people get to ask each other questions. They get to help each other solve problems, and it makes people not feel as alone because they're not alone. One-to-one, the client can still feel very much alone. But within a community, they're like, wow, we're all working toward this goal. See, one of the big challenges is that people often do feel like their issue or their problem is only theirs. They feel very much in a vacuum, very much alone with their issue. And then when they're in the community, wow, we're all trying to create a product. Oh, wow, we're all trying to write a book. Oh, wow, we're all trying to get our minds right. Oh, wow, we're all trying to get through this problem. They don't mind that each person's getting a little bit different take from their coach, but they like to see that, wow, I'm really not alone. And that's the biggest part of the community, is that it provides confidence and reassurance that they're in the right place. So even at that very high level, that 10,000 or more level, the community is a very strong source of inspiration, connectivity, and feeling like I'm really in the right place. So content, community, and coaching are three elements that really allow people to feel like, I'm so glad that I joined this program. I'm getting, quote, my money's worth, because they're able to see the direct results from that. Because with just content alone, if the only thing is content, again, it's just a product. The value comes in the interpretation of that content by the coach and the support of the interpretation and direction by the community. So as you set up your training, one of the easiest programs to ever run, I feel like, is to have your content that you deliver each month. You host your coaching call around that specific content to provide direction and provide answers and application. And then your community gets together to spur each other on and give even more direction about that specific assignment or that specific avenue, right? Right. So let me back out of this, come back to the regular screen. And then if you guys have any questions about any of that. Patty says, Simple Six was the very first product I ever bought from you. Thanks, Patty. It's still up. It still makes really good sales. Any questions about anything covered tonight? And then I'm going to share with you a shortcut that I found from one of my friends that you may not be interested in. I love it. In fact, a lot of my screens that I use tonight came straight from their product. And that's why I was really excited about showing it to you. Any questions about anything covered so far? All right, so not seeing anything. I'm going to bring up one more screen that shows you their shortcut. Go to paulbevans.com/10K. paulbevans.com/10K. And I just click that on the screen. It should just open up for you. And this, how to create, I got from a couple of my friends, Melissa and Nicole. And what I did was came in and created extra slides and created extra content from my own experience. And then I saw this product that they had. And if you're looking for content for you to take and do your own training on, it's exactly what they provide. So let's say that I'm working with coaches or I'm working with authors, or I do actually work with speakers. I can take this content and actually create my own 10K program from it. If I was to say how to create and sell 1,000 to 10K packages to as a speaker, they'd want that, right? And so let me show you what everybody gets in this package. It's pretty cool. And there's a $197. I'm going to show you how to get it for $97 in just a second if you're interested. But go ahead and go to this page at paulbevans.com/10K. You may be able to click your screen and it worked. It worked on my screen. paulbevans.com/10K. You get the entire workshop, 4 training models, plus 4 action plan worksheets and exercises, 4 program accelerator checklists, 4 sets of PowerPoint slides. All of this is done for you. So when I was talking about content and coaching and community, a lot of times it's not the coaching anybody has a problem with, and it's not the community anybody has a problem with, but it's coming up with all the content. So they provide all the content for you. You get to train on it, coach from it, and build a community around it. I mean, that's a huge shortcut. So module 1 is 3 simple solutions for repositioning your business to get 10K clients. And everything I'm about to show you, you could use in your own business if you wanted to, or if you train other people, you could train them in this. So this module, they discover the 3 mindset makeovers, 3 proven strategies, discovering what other coaches in your niche are earning, how to kick your negative self-talk, 4 ways to adjust your business plan. So they give you the content, they give you the worksheets and exercises, they give you the checklists, they give you the PowerPoint slides. Module 2, raise your profile, add more zeros to your income. They show you exactly how to do this. They give you the training. They give you the worksheets, checklist, PowerPoint slides to actually hold your class. So, and I was recommending doing 1 a month. You know, you could do a 4-week program with this if you wanted to. I'd probably do this once a month and do, you know, this would be a full quarter of content. So if I was, and I'm not offering this, what I'm saying is if I offered this as an actual program of how to create a 10K package, if I was to offer this, I would sell it for $5K. I would say, hey, join me for the next 4 months. It's going to be $5,000. We're going to create your 10K program. In month 1, we're going to cover this. In month 2, we're going to raise your profile. We're going to focus all about raising your profile. In month 3, we're going to create your premium package positioning and planning for your big payday. Of course, all of this is already included. And in month 4, we're going to talk about how to sell your packages, onboard fun, and having excited clients. And by the end of your 4 months, you'll have your package, you'll have your process, everything will be in place. You know, that would not actually be a hard sell, right? To people who wanted to offer $10,000 level packages. If I was selling something like this for $5K, it would work. They'd be attracted to that. Oh, great question. How can this be adapted to cardiologist teaching or coaching? So this particular package may be hard to go with them if they don't want this specific outcome, But the truth is, you could take it and say, what is it that their outcome wants more than anything else? So what do you say their outcome is? Type that in real quick. The cardiologist, what's the outcome that you're either promising or that they want more than any other? Type that in. And they may actually be wanting, more income in their cardiology practice. They may be wanting more clients. All right, I'll come back to that. I don't see that typed in yet. So what I would do is, let's just start here with module 3, how to create the package that attracts the right type of client and positions your services accordingly. Because it's about positioning, probably a little bit about branding. And then in 4, how to sell your packages and onboard fun. How to make sure that you're attracting the right clients and you bring them in the correct way. Now, if you were to actually teach them about cardiology that the doctor never has enough time to share, then even within this, what you would do is end up conforming it to the cardiologist, showing them how they would either have to create the information process or you'd have to create that for them, right? Which would be a huge package. Charge them a lot for that so that they would be able to inform and actually have a process. Cool. All right, so that you get these models. Now, here's the other cool thing. You get a webinar script. So let's say that you're bringing people into your process, just like I did tonight with a webinar. You get the script to use in the webinar. You get the registration page copy. You get the PowerPoint slides for your webinar. You get a handout to give your guest. You get 4 emails to promote the webinar. If it's free, if it's paid, 10 social media posts to promote the program, 5 blog posts, newsletter articles to promote your program. All of that leading into either this 4-week course or 4-month course as I would do. So all of this stuff is completely done for you. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, great templates. Good. Patty says, I love this, Paul. What about getting the clients for it? Do you suggest Facebook ads or something? I love Facebook ads, Patty. I've been doing a lot more with them than I've ever done in my life and getting a great response. And what I would do if I was selling this particular program is I would put on it the secret to getting 10K clients. And that would basically be it. Now I see that all of the time. Constantly I see some sort of tag along those lines, and I would send them straight to a sign-up page, or most likely if I really wanted to get that opt-in, I would take one of these handouts, like this handout that you would be using on the webinar itself. I would take this handout and I would use it as the giveaway. So I'd get the opt-in, and then I would say, here's your handout. We're going to be using it on the following webinar, and have that automatically. Christine says, are we allowed to customize this to our own branding? Can we change some of the wording if we choose? Absolutely, Christine. You brand it for yourself. You change all of the wording. So even in this right here where you'll see that here's the sales page copy. They even do a sales page for you. Then you can edit any of that. You can edit these forms. It comes in Word doc. You can edit all the PowerPoint slides. Here's the webinar registration page, which is really something that you would use in lead pages or something along those lines, right? But it just applies the copy for you. Now here's the webinar script. Now in this webinar script, everything that you see in red is their suggestions. They're telling you what you may want to add in, like this little section right here. Hopefully you can see my pointer. This little section right here is where I'm supposed to have talked about myself. You notice I didn't do that tonight. I just went straight into the content. So they give you notes of things that you're going to want to interject. So here's a complete webinar transcript and then other things to interject. Now, I didn't use the webinar transcript tonight, but I did use a handful of their slides. In fact, Let's see, like you can tell that this is the same slide. I put my picture on this first slide. I kept that slide the same. I kept this slide the same. And then I cut a bunch of them out that I didn't use at all. So yes, Christine, you absolutely can. Patty asked, can I add suggestions on how to get clients? Now, I could actually do a totally different call on this. Here's the way that I would do it, Patty. This is just a suggestion, but what I would do is that I would bring people in through the webinar. Now, on a webinar, it's going to be pretty tough to sell a 10K or even a 5K program from a webinar, right? What's not hard to sell is a triage call, a 10 to 15 minute call to find out if you're a fit, and say something along the lines of, hope you really enjoyed the program tonight. I believe that I really delivered what I promised with showing you how to create a 10K program and the elements that it really takes to put that in place. And so maybe you're ready for the next step. Maybe you want to know what's next. Maybe you want to know where we go from here. Then on the link on the page that you're seeing right now, and I'd have a link available, obviously, say, why don't you book in a triage call with me, or maybe a strategy call with me, and I usually call them a velocity call. Let's book in a velocity call. We're going to spend a quick 10 or 15 minutes together. I'm going to tell you about the next stage that we can go to. We'll find out if you're really at a place that is going to be a good fit. I'll find out if you're a fit for the program. You'll find out if I'm a fit for you. And we'll just have a quick chat. There's no pressure, no salesmanship in place. I mean, what can take place in 10 to 15 minutes? And we'll just see what the next level is. I'll find out exactly what your goals are, exactly where you want to be in the next 4 months. And we'll see if we can get you there. And if not, hey, we'll shake hands. No hard feelings. No big deal. Right? And so in the course of that call, what I do is this. And Patty, I think that you might have been on the next 90 days webinar, but I use that sheet where on the right-hand side, it's results. On the left-hand side, it's reality. And in the middle, it's roadblocks. So on the triage call, I'll say, let's talk a little bit about your results. And let's say that I'm doing your signature product. Where would you want to be in 4 months? Well, I want to have my product. Or in this case, where you want to be in 4 months? I want to have my 10K program in place. Okay? So what's the reality right now? Well, the reality right now is I'm working one-to-one with people. I'm charging $100 an hour. Okay, well, what's the roadblock? What do you believe is preventing you from getting from the reality, $100 an hour, to where you want to be having a 10K program? Well, I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the process in place. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to take. I don't know where I'm going to get the content. I don't have an existing framework. Okay, so if in the next 4 months we could work together, we could create your framework. We could hone a precise process. We can get your promise in place and hone a process to deliver that promise to your people. Would you feel great about that? Yeah, I feel great about that. All right, well, that's exactly what my program does. And then we talk a little bit farther about that. So that really would be the overall process, Patty. And I would sign them up from that call because they would gain that assurance that I was the person for them to deliver that promise and that I've got the process. Yeah, Jerry said, I was wondering where all your normal graphics were. Jerry, I'm so glad you noticed that. And I did this on purpose because what I didn't want to do is create screens that everybody's like, hey, where'd you get your graphics? And I want to do that. And I think that that's part of the selling process, obviously. But tonight I wanted to keep it just really simple, really straightforward, so you could see some of the possibility. So, because sometimes people will see all the like flashy slides and are like, oh, well, if I don't have that, I guess, I don't have anything. The truth is, it comes down more to content and value than it does anything else. Though I do like the normal graphics, Jerry. Thanks for pointing that out. Any questions about any of this, guys? Any questions? Oh, I did say I'd show you how to get it for 97. Let me hit this real quick. And yes, it is recorded. And I will be sending out the replay. So at paulbevans.com/10K is what you just saw. And if you bought just this package from Melissa and Nicole, it'd be $197. Now they've got this other offer that I've got at paulbevans.com/10K2 And it's going to take you to another page. And they actually produce a package like this. Oh, I didn't get that whole deal in there. I'm going to actually type it in by hand. Let me make sure that I have that in place actually. Yeah, okay, good. So that second one, paulbevans.com/10K2 will send you to this page. And they actually produce a package like this every month. So if you wanted to pay $97 today, not $197, but pay $97 today, then you're going to get this premium package, and then you'll get charged $97 a month, but every month you'll get a package of that size, of that magnitude, of all that stuff you just saw. You get a package like that every single time. You know, that's pretty crazy. And then they're also giving you this tonight. You're losing the sale. Here's the fix for finding all your lost profits. You need clients, how to get an abundance of client referrals, how to gracefully announce and handling price increases with clients. And all these things you get to train on as well, and you get to use in your own business as well. So paulbevans.com/10K, you can buy just the premium package offer for $197, or paulbevans.com/10K2. You can become part of their monthly program and get content galore, you know, content like crazy. Patty says, couldn't we also use this as a coaching page for other things like my offline coaching clients to approach local businesses? Absolutely, Patty. You could. You just go in and make a few shifts, right? It'd be super easy for you to do that. So even though their content is written for coaches, you can take it and apply it to whatever industry you feel like is a good fit, right? So Patty's going to use it in the offline market. I would use it with speakers and authors. I've got a great list of speakers, and they would love all of these things. So let me go down through these as if I'm talking to speakers, right? Premium packages, how to create and sell 1K to 10K speaker packages, right? I've shifted it, boom. You're losing sales. Here's the fix for finding all your lost speaking profits. You need bookings. How to get an abundance of referrals. That's what the speaker business is based on, really. How to gracefully announce and handle a price increase of your speaker fees. Yeah, pretty good. You know, pretty easy to make those adjustments and those shifts. Cool. Any other questions about tonight? I'm going to type this into the chat box in case people want to click directly. All right, let's see if there's anything else. All right, great. Patty says she's in. Take care, Patty. Thank you so much. Anything else, guys, before we sign off tonight? I will be sending out the replay later. paulbevans.com/10K, paulbevans.com/10K2. So that's really, you know, when it came down to what I showed you earlier, content, community, and coaching, having all that content handled for you, really good. What a huge, huge, huge shortcut. Love that. Super excited when I saw these ladies putting this out. So, and they're great friends of mine. Totally trust them. You'll love the content, love the process. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Come back to the screen one last time. And, you know, if you've got any questions about this later on, all you got to do is email me at paul@paulbevans.com, paul@paulbevans.com, willing to answer any questions that you have about this. But I hope that you see that having a 10K package is really not an impossibility. The content may be the hardest component. It's basically been done for you if you become part of Nicole and Melissa's program. But otherwise, if you're looking at your content, your community, and your coaching, and then you use those 6 things that high-level clients are looking for and really focus on those, and then you focus on the 3 components of content, coaching, community, it gives you a great framework for creating your own 10K program. Well, thanks for coming out tonight, guys. As always, success is not an accident. Be blessed.